So welcome to ProfileTree TV, and today I'm very excited to talk to Sumaira Isaacs. So thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us. And you're obviously a tourism veteran, an influencer, and you specialize in actually country level tourism. So thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us today.
Thank you for having me. I really am looking forward to this conversation and also contributing to Northern Ireland.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
You mind telling us a little bit about your background and how you got into tourism and maybe some of the projects you've worked on?
Yeah, so if I talk too much about how long I've been in the tourism will give away my age, but I've been in the industry for over 25 years. Primarily it started in Dubai with the travel agencies and then moving on to DMC work. Actually, I feel that my tourism history is as old as Dubai's tourism history, because I literally started in Dubai when there was just one hotel to promote, and the tourism board had just come in with just 4 staff in it. So I can easily say that one of the earliest members of the tourism industry there, when we literally would backpack brochures, and go door to door trying to promote and educate people about Dubai.
Incredible. And I had the pleasure of living in Dubai for 2 years and seeing a little bit of what it's turned into. But my word, you must have seen some transformation. So what were some of the projects that you were involved in when you were there?
Because I've been part of that evolution of Dubai's history, where we've literally seen Dubai go from camels to 4-wheel drives in a span of just 10 to 15 years. So, one of the earliest projects that I ever got involved with was literally trying to create, because there was no product in Dubai, but trying to create these safaris on top of a dune. We would literally do the barbecue and marinades in our own kitchen, roll up carpets, and end up on top of a dune with 1 or 2 clients who care to utilize the Emirates scheme of a stopover in Dubai, a free stopover. So that's literally how we started, and that was, I think, one of the major key projects that I ever got involved with. But having said that, Dubai moved forward very rapidly, and that meant opportunities for all of us. We learned through Dubai's growth, and we contributed to Dubai's growth. And some of the, you can talk about projects, they are endless, but some of the key ones that I think defined Dubai's position and also kind of defined our position and role into the tourism industry was the IMF World Bank meetings, which arrived in 2003 in Dubai. We pitched and worked on that project for nearly 5 years. And one of my favorites was actually from out of UK. It was with Marriott's. I don't know if you know Graham Fraser from Marriott's. He's now passed away, and he was a veteran of the MICE industry at that time. And he brought in 1,500 Jaguar clients to Dubai, and we built a fort for them in the desert, a purpose-built fort. And we literally had the Jaguar cars launching out of the towers of the fort, and it was an incredible sight. So we're literally doing government meetings to incentive programs, to PCO conferences, and as recent as a few years ago, we had the World Cardiology coming to Dubai for 15,000 people.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. So how did you become involved in tourism then?
I think it was just destiny, and it was I happened to be at the right place at the right time. And those 4 people that I talked about that started the tourism industry, one of them happened to be my brother. And I was looking to do something and come out of very early motherhood and trying to find a job for myself. And he said, this board that has been launched, and I'm part of it, and they're talking about a DMC, and I don't know what that is, but would you care to to get involved with one. And that's how it all started.
Incredible. So obviously Dubai, the government has been instrumental in the progress in the city. Why and how should governments get behind tourism initiatives in their own country?
So I'll talk about two experiences I've had. Okay, one is obvious Dubai. In Dubai, when we, started tourism, it was literally a call from the top. It was the leadership that they realized the value, and they needed to create. The oil was, everybody knew it was an open fact that oil will run out. They needed to create another economy. So it was literally a call from the leadership, and we all felt as if we are working for Dubai Inc. We did not feel that we are working for different tourism organizations. We had one goal, one mission, and that was His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, that we have to put Dubai on the map of tourism. Little did we know that how well we will do this and how quickly this will happen, but we all took pride in it, and we all felt that we we are little cogs in a big machinery, and it's going to serve Dubai well, and the rest is all history. So governments can really play a key role. And another example I'll give you now of another country, which may baffle you, is Pakistan. Okay, I happen to be a Pakistani living in Dubai and Canada, and Pakistan, has had a very traumatic history, as we all know it, and people associate it with terrorism, with a very backward country, and so forth. However, there's been a change in leadership. We've got a new prime minister who has the vision for tourism, and his mantra is tourism, 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 and this never happened before, but because he's calling, it's a call to action, that Pakistan can turn itself around and its economy, and tourism can contribute. People are beginning to pay attention. So it's really important. Governments, yes, but it's the leadership in the government, it's a political will, and for them to understand that it's an economic multiplier, it's a job creator, it's absolutely a no-brainer.
Incredible. What examples there as well. And I know, of course, the history of Pakistan, and we see it in the news, and I know growing up, it would be very similar to even our own history here in Northern Ireland, and
exactly
perception abroad. And we're trying to do the same. So it's what a change it makes, and we've seen so many changes here in the last couple of years. It's been incredible. So how do organizations then promote their city or their country to a global stage? So something that you've got a lot of experience at.
Yeah, I think, like I said to you, it's a multifaceted approach, right? The governments have to take the lead. However, I think organizations should not just wait for governments to take the lead. It helps if the governments are behind it, but it's also a no-brainer, because you can make serious money. It's a serious business. The business of tourism is a serious business, and it's a multi-generational business. It's something that you can pass on to your children and to your grandchildren, and I've seen that happen in specifically in countries like, that I've been involved with, is like South Africa or Turkey. And, these are countries, where tourism is being passed along for generations, and they take pride. And so they 100% the organizations have to get involved themselves. They have to take lead, and your local associations, tourism bodies, everybody have to play a role in it to support these organizations.
No, incredible, and very interesting. So no matter what happens, everyone's got some ownership in this.
Absolutely, and because everybody is a winner. It's a very happy business to be in. It's a business that you can take pride in, because it's linked to your own pride, to your nation. So you're contributing in a very different space altogether,
Incredible. And one thing that I know we talked about MICE tourism. You wouldn't mind explaining what that is, because I know some people might not understand all the shorthands we use.
So MICE is meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, or expos. It's a term for business tourism. Where you are basically involved with corporate meetings and basically inviting the corporates to take their incentive groups or their conferences or corporate meetings to another part of the world. It's a well-used term in US and UK and Europe, but in developing countries, it's relatively new. So, for example, I'm involved with Pakistan right now, and so they're trying to get their tourism strategy right, and I can't wait for them to get onto the business tourism strategy, because that's where, whilst you make there's good return on investment on individual tourism or backpackers, but the yield and the profitability, the real profitability, really comes from business tourism, and because business tourism also calls for newer investments in infrastructure, whereas the ordinary tourism is very reliant on backpackers or now Airbnb and 2 or 3 star hotels. For business tourism, the countries or the cities have to really come behind it. Having a convention center is critical. Having 5-star hotels is critical. Road infrastructure, museums, everybody have to be up to a certain mark and standard in order to invite business tourism to the destination.
Incredible. So the likes of exhibitions, which again Dubai is very famous for, bringing people in and getting it on the map is critical then as part of a overall tourism strategy.
Absolutely, because it's also investment into infrastructure development, right? I'll give you one example. So we pitched for COP11 for Hyderabad in India a few years ago, with the promise that within a 3 to 4 years time, the province there is going to invest in a convention center, and they did. And it was that conference was delivered there. It happened at the same venue, but that's the focus that the governments then need to. They built a new airport, so that's creating new jobs. And once these conventions go, it's a little bit like Olympics, right? When they leave a legacy behind for the city, So. Yeah.
Incredible. And another thing that we hear mentioned a lot is Expo 2020. So, and that's something that's important now for the international travel industry.
Yeah, so World Expos, these are these juggernauts. These are the expos of the mother of all expos, I would say. And this is where it's such a large international exhibition designed to showcase the achievements of nations. So that's why it is not sufficient for them to be there for 2 or 3 days or 3 weeks. These expos run over a long period of time for 6 months. So the World Expo is an amazing project. I was very much involved on the advisory board level 3 years even before Dubai pitched for the World Expo. And it's now coming in 2020. It's going to be an incredible year of growth for Dubai. They've blocked in something like 480 hectares space with new roads are coming into. There's a new metro line coming in. There's buildings and hotels being built in that area. So it's all that legacy of the Expo 2020, which I think Dubai is going to benefit from many years, even after 2020.
Incredible. So the cities actually have to pitch, they have to bid for these expos.
Absolutely. It's and you bid on a promise, right? You bid on the promise that there's going to be a vision, there's going to be a theme, and the government has to really come behind the project, but it's always a public-private partnership. So everybody rallies behind it. Just to put it in perspective, when it took place in China, in Shanghai, it was a $40 billion US dollars investment that the Chinese government had to put in. They had to build in 6 additional metro lines, and tunnels and bridges and so forth. So Dubai is not going to be left behind,
No way.
So I don't know what the actual final tag or number, the price tag is going to be, but I think Dubai is going to surpass China in a lot.
We both know Dubai will,
Yes.
no matter what. Yeah, of
Yes.
course. There's the only way they operate, which is
Absolutely.
incredible.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and I know you've been involved in theme parks. So
Yes.
the theme park industry, and you've supported some developments around the world. So what kind of an impact can a theme park have on a local environment or economy?
So, theme park to me is this best kept secret in
Mm-hmm.
tourism for the Europeans and for the developing emerging markets. Why I say it's a best kept secret, because it's an evolution, of the for more advanced tourism destinations, who've now had tourism, have had business tourism, have had all the infrastructure that they require around it. They have the systems and the processes and the reputation to support it. Then what's next for them? And up to now, the traditional markets for theme parks obviously have been the US. Okay, that's been the traditional market, and then most recently followed by China in Asia, and now UAE in Middle East. They say that by 2020 it will be a 44 billion US dollars market. So any destination, who's already check marked on all of the other factors that I've just mentioned, for them, this should be a natural transition. The next phase of growth and investment should be tourism, theme park industry, because it attracts. You do have to invest. The ROI does take time. It is over a period of 5, 10, 15 years, but it does start paying dividends, because it's that next big thing in tourism.
Incredible, and who'd have known, as you say, top secret. Don't tell
Yeah,
anyone.
yes.
And you can understand that even for local people, for jobs, for.
Oh, incredible. Creates jobs, infrastructure, again, huge mega projects. There are some traditional theme park developers in the world today. And then you have some theme park design companies. I happen to represent, at least I feel, one of the best. And it's actually a very, very condensed small industry, because when you think theme park, you think Disney, right? And most of this industry actually evolved, and people have come from Disney. Disney has been this big cradle of developing and boosting theme park talent, and they're all located in a very, very small area, in California. So everybody knows everybody, and I happen to represent one very quaint, nice, small company out of there, but they've done mega projects both in Dubai and in China. And I keep learning, and I'm very proud of my association with the producers group there, because most of these companies, the theme park design companies, are American, but not everybody are risk takers, because America is still the safe haven for theme parks, right? But China has done very well for them, and they've gone. Look at China's evolution, from tourism to World Expos and theme parks projects. There are cities in China that I can't even pronounce the name of, and they have theme parks built specifically for them there, because again, the Chinese population is so huge, and they're trying to intercept, right, your average traveler who would go to Euro Disney, or in France, or would go to US, or at the most Hong Kong, but then where else, so China capitalized in that gap in the market, and has done very, very well, and everybody wants that Chinese traveler, right? But they're trying to keep them all domestically at home, and it's a very clever strategy. And now look, Dubai, it's such a minuscule small destination, and look at the mega projects that they are investing in, and I think it's going to pay dividends.
Oh no, without a doubt, it's one of the top destinations in the world to visit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and you mentioned a lot of countries there around the world. Just I'm thinking, is there challenges then facing the industry, the tourism industry globally, or what are the challenges that would be facing?
I think there's a lot of disruptive technology, in the tourism industry today. And to me, the organizations or countries or destinations who don't focus on that or keep an eye on that one will miss the opportunity and the ball and will be left behind the curve, And Airbnb and Uber and who knows what's the next technology is going to be. And it's shifting the game. It's changing the game of tourism, of your traditional supplier vendor relationship, and with the consumers and the tourism uh, clients are becoming more discerning. So they have more direct access, there's more competition. I think these are these are some of the challenges, in addition to, of course, the typical that the tourism industry is one of the most taxed industry in the world today, and without knowing, a tourism passenger is paying taxes on airline tickets, on hotels, on receipts, on fees, museum fees, entering theme parks and hotels. There's always this hidden tax, and I think the governments have to be very cognizant of it, that don't kill the bird of the golden goose,
Yes. Yeah.
with all this taxation. So I think that's something to be really watched for. And security, of course, is always a threat, but that can now be anywhere. Gone are the days when we said that security was just a problem for countries like Pakistan or in the Middle East or these regions. Now it's a problem anywhere in Europe and, Americas and all.
Mhm.
So that's something that we need to be on top of all the time.
Yeah.
Those could be
No,
some.
exactly. And how things have changed in the last 5 years, because
Yes.
look what happened in Europe. Like
Yeah.
what country hasn't been touched by all the
Yeah.
problems? So it's incredible, like how things can change on a dime. It just turns and it's gone. So we would have
Yeah.
thought everyone's safe here, but there's no, as you
Yeah.
say, there's no such thing.
Yeah.
Incredible. So the tourism industry, though, you think it's for any economy around the world, they should be looking at tourism if they're not already.
Oh, I think, there was a world summit that took place in Dubai just now. It's a World Government Summit. And I was quite surprised and I was very proud that Imran Khan was one of the leaders who spoke there. But there was a common theme in most of these leaders who were talking at the government's summit, that tourism is an industry that often is overlooked in certain government priorities, and smart are the nations who know the value of it and who know how to capture and capitalize on it. So I think there are a lot of countries, specifically in the emerging world, who are now trying to get onto the bandwagon. I'll give you one example of Africa. In Africa, you have a country like Rwanda, who has literally gone from a genocide story in 5 years, from genocide to best tourism story in Africa. And they have a strategy and they have a plan, and in just 5 years they are already benefiting from it. And having said that, I've actually come across the plans in Africa for countries like Ghana and Ethiopia, and who are all investing in tourism. They have strategic plans running over 10 years, 15 years. I've just been invited, and I'm very proud to be associated with South Africa. And the provinces are focusing, the province of Western Cape is right now in the process of putting their next 15 years economic development and tourism plan. So the smart countries get it.
Amazing, amazing. And you talk about the strategy, the plan a lot there. Is that where a company or a country starts to look at this tourism? They need the roadmap, they need the plan, the vision of where they want to go.
Sorry, I just lost you a little bit. Your question was?
No, sorry. So just you mentioned strategies and plans when you're talking about countries there. So is that the most important thing or the first step on the
Oh,
journey is to set out a vision?
absolutely, absolutely. And countries need to invest in that, invest in a roadmap. And just not invest in a paper document, because everybody can produce a paper document. It's actually the implementation of it, and to bring in the expertise and the knowledge. And nowadays everything is on social media, and bring in the right influences behind your plan and strategy, and the youth of the country don't wait for anybody. That's the biggest capital, and the best launch pad that one can have. So even before you can launch your plans, uh, um, uh, and try to harness the power of the youth, and how they communicate on social media, bring them behind your plan and strategy, and take it to the world stage. And I always say it for newer nations, because sometimes people argue with me, but we don't have roads, we don't have infrastructure, and how can we go on the world stage, and how can we say that we are open for business? And I always say that this is such a big misconception, that you have to wait for these things to happen. But you have to already go, get the message out that we are open for business. Come and help us, and invite the investors, invite the influencers in. Have a strategic plan that, okay, 2020 or 2030, and that you're aiming towards something. And through the process, yes, you're picking up tourists as you go along, but don't be shy. Don't wait for everything to come in and then go, because that will never happen. Governments change, world calamities happen, and the story will not then unfold.
Amazing advice, because I think back to my own childhood and going around Ireland, and we didn't have motorways, we didn't have fancy airports, and
Yes.
actually the roads were horrendous, bends and
Yeah.
everything. But that was part of the experience. That was what
Yeah.
people came for, just to be in that environment, and that was part of
Yeah.
our selling point at that time. But
Absolutely.
amazing, though. So very interesting that you highlight that. So again, what a fountain of knowledge you are, and all these examples have been amazing. So just going back to yourself. So what if a country or an organization were looking for help, and they were looking for someone to help them, and they're reaching out to yourself? What services do you offer?
We offer everything from strategic management, offer actually putting a plan together, and strategy and economic development plan, because we've got a big list of associates that we work with, and anything from economic development to a go-to-market strategy on an international stage, but also the implementation on grassroots level. So we collaborate with organizations like World Bank and or USAID. These are some of the organizations who help tourism strategies and implementation in some of the emerging countries. And we would work in tandem with these organizations as well. And towards the grassroots implementation, capacity building, how do you bring learning and development, accreditation, international world bodies, how do you do product development? So we would come in all facets of tourism development.
Incredible. And I'm just thinking of the amount of experience and the exposure you've had in different projects around the world.
Yeah.
What an asset that is. So no, incredible. Thank you very much for taking time out and sharing your expertise with us today. If anyone watching this did want to reach out to you, or check you out online, what's the best way for them to do that?
Through my LinkedIn profile, Sumaira Isaacs, and I would be happy to connect with them. And Kieran, I just wanted to say one thing about Northern Ireland,
Yeah, please. Oh,
because
yeah. Love it.
it is about Northern Ireland, right? And because I've been doing my research and all, and it's an incredible how you guys have changed and transformed your story, and a lot of countries can learn from Northern Ireland, but I think it's time to now take it to the next level.
Yeah. Totally agree. And what have you any thoughts on what the next level is, or what we should do?
I think stop relying too much on your history and stop relying too much onto your past, and come up with some newer products, more cutting edge, and also with tourism comes economic development, So, and I'm just looking at them because I was looking at trade between Northern Ireland and Pakistan, because I'm working a lot in Pakistan and South Africa right now, and China. These are some of the countries that I'm working in, and it was interesting to note that the trade between Pakistan and Northern Ireland is out of the entire EU is about 34%, okay, and Northern Ireland only is 1% of that. So trade and economic development is the other area which I think commerce development goes hand in hand with tourism. And again, the tourism boards who understand the link between the two can play a very important role.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you for the feedback. So basically, again, an economy like our own, we really should be looking at new experiences, trying
Absolutely.
to think outside the box.
Absolutely.
And again, no, I know what you mean. I'm just thinking even here for ourselves to experience new experiences all the time. We've been very lucky with the Game of Thrones. We've done very well out of screen tourism in the last couple of years. But sadly, that's coming to an end now. So I don't know what's going to happen next. So we're all waiting with bated breath. But very exciting times. It's incredible.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
We need to keep the change going. So thank you for your spending time and looking at that. Very interesting to get your insights in that. And what we'll do is, for sure, if anyone wants to reach out to you, we'll have your LinkedIn profile, a link to it just underneath this video. So hopefully anyone can click through and connect with you and have a conversation like I have.
Thank you. Thank
Amazing.
You so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you for watching the video today. Hopefully you found some amazing value, as I have, some incredible knowledge of the tourism industry for countries and the global infrastructure and what needs to be built. We learned of theme parks, which I never even thought of, through to even the history of Dubai and the tourism there. So hopefully you found it very interesting. Please do check the link below and connect on LinkedIn. And that's us for today. So this is Kieran from ProfileTree, the content marketing agency here in Belfast. Hopefully we'll see you in tomorrow's video. So thank you again.